Hi Aries, welcome to the Winds of Jupiter May 2018 Tarot reading. Now Uranus going into Taurus on May 15th is a really big deal. It'll be 84 years since it's been in Taurus, and it'll stay there for 7. Now the outer planets are about big picture changes, and the inner planets are more about personal changes, temporal changes. I suggest that you look where Uranus is in your birth chart and see how it's going to affect you, because this is going to be financial and emotional. And it's going to shake the cages of quite a few people. Now the rune that you received is Fehu. This implies cattle. And if you had cattle in the old days, you had wealth. And I know Aries has had a lot of good fortune, a lot of rewards, but they've had a lot of trouble with their love lives. And that's why you received the King of Swords as the overall energy card. It's time to take control of things. He has the Sword of Truth, the mercenary that's going to lower the boom if you use emotions over logic and reason. He's a mini emperor. It's time to take control of your little empire. Or for the king here, it's his kingdom. Set some rules, regulations, boundaries, and don't let people step over them. Don't get sappy about making emotional decisions. Make sure that there's a backbone to it and say, no, I have to take control of this. My emotions say one thing, my right brain and my left brain says another thing. The king is the mature energy, and he wants you to be mature about it. Now the Minchiati card right next to the king is earth, and it's saying come back down to earth. The King of Swords is air, intellect, communication. But make sure it's down to earth when you do these communications. When you make these decisions, make it mix into the earth with air. Now this is going to be a fortunate time because the cards on the left for the what you know category, you receive the Wheel of Fortune and the World. Aries has been really lucky in the cards overall for the last year. And this is saying that it's a time, a cycle in life that it's going to be fortunate for you to make some moves, some actions, some changes. And with Uranus going into Taurus, there's going to be some changes. And you have to be adaptable enough to accept them and manipulate them for your benefit. Because the World card is saying that you're coming to the end of a cycle. You've gone through all the major arcana cards, and you graduated. You came across some enlightenment, some realizations. And with these changes going on, it really was time to do some endings and new beginnings, accepting new challenges in your life. And that's what Uranus is about, discovery, electricity, enlightenment, and the unexpected. Now for Aries, you got to step back. You want to take control of things, but I think the universe is going to control this situation. And it's going to be all good because the cards in the middle for what is or can be yours is the Sun and the Three of Pentacles, both extremely positive cards. The Sun is about enlightenment, shining a light on things that you draw your attention to, bringing abundance, prosperity. This is a card that brings clarity and things into focus. And this helps for healing. And I think emotionally a lot of Aries have been wanting to heal, licking their wounds from some love, affection, some changes in it, some confusion from it. This Sun card can indicate success and happiness. Finally getting to the end of the road where the sun is starting to rise. Now the Three of Pentacles is the Architect card. It's about building. It's about getting along with people to be able to build things together. People singing on the same sheet of music, but in harmony this time. The sun's intense power is starting to dispel some of the fear of the dark paths that you've walked. And once fear is gone, you have confidence, discipline, and the King of Swords, power, the truth, and the power of truth. Now the cards on the right for your awareness are self-awareness. You receive the Six of Swords and the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is a bankruptcy card. Financially, but a lot of times it's emotionally. You've been taking things for granted. You're not seeing things for what they really are. You're overlooking them. People look but never see. Things didn't quite turn out the way you wanted them to. Any 5 card is a card about obstacles, challenges. You know, you're walking by a lot of things taking it for granted. Stop for a minute. Open your eyes. Look around and see what the reality is around you, or what the reality is for the other person. Walk in their moccasins. And it's time to move away from this personal bankruptcy, because you received the Six of Swords. This is the card from going from turbulent to tranquil waters. Changes are coming up, but you have to make them. You're the one driving the boat. This can also indicate travel, messages being brought to you. You know, it does say you're sailing away from confusion, some type of tribulations. You might not be running away, you're just going away from them. Maybe even just taking a break, a little sanity time. I find that when I get away from things, I can think a lot more objectively. Because when I'm involved in it, I'm thinking subjectively. Yes, this Six of Swords is saying that you're going to have to set some things down and leave them alone. Don't be distracted by them. Now your future cards are really interesting. You received World, Tower, Ten of Cups, and the Moon card. So this is the second time you received the World card. You're going by increments, step by step, learning some new things, and you're earning some accolades from yourself at least, that you're going from completion to completion. In I Ching, or Yi Jing, they call it, there's a completion for completion. I think it's number 63. You never really end anything. You just end a leg of it and move on to another one. Now the Tower is saying that you're moving on to another leg of a project because there's some change in circumstances. The Tower is a neutral card, so don't fear it. This is saying that you have to accept and take on the new challenges of the new environment that it's bringing. This might just be tremors under your feet, but you have to see this warning and make sure you're there and in reality to see which way this tower does fall, because you have the power on which way the tower falls. Now if you can handle this and use the King of Swords logic and reason, you're going to receive the happiness from the Ten of Cups card. The glimpse of heaven over the rainbow of cups. This is a congenial card about getting along with people. Having simplicity in your life so you can accept just the basic joy of life. I think a lot of times we complicate it, and Aries can complicate it too with the me, ego, I, and not having the we involved in it. Now the Moon card next to the Ten of Cups is saying, listen to your inner voice, your intuition, as well as using logic and reason. Those gut feelings are there for a reason. And the moon itself, the reflective light, can cast a light on these small dark crevices that have bothered you in time. And now it's time to accept some changes emotionally. Because career-wise, you've been flying along like a rocket. But emotionally, you have to take care of yourself and make sure that you're making the right decisions logically and down to earth. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.